Among Africa's greatest exports are its athletes. One of them is ultra-endurance cyclist Grant Lottering. He'd already earned global respect competing in multiple day races of 1,000 kilometers or more. Though it was a race that didn't end well, which has most defined him in the eyes of the sporting world.
I grew up in Johannesburg, in the northern suburbs. I've got two older brothers. My parents always supported us in our sport, which was wonderful. So my oldest brother, he played first team rugby at high school. My other brother, he played first team cricket. And me, I couldn't even catch a ball. When we had to run, I always came last. But then I discovered cycling. I was at a race nearby where I lived, and I was just blown away. I was a 12-year-old boy, and I started riding my bike, and then I started realizing, but I'm actually quite good at this. And that's how I discovered the cycling, and that became my passion and my sport in school.
Grant became the first South African to finish a 420-kilometer solo cycle through the French Alps in less than 24 hours. But it was riding those same mountains which almost killed him.
So this race was in the Italian Alps, just on the border of Austria. And it was a very steep downhill, very, very steep. There were signs everywhere warning of the gradient. And I remember the last time I looked at my bike computer, I was on 66 k's an hour. And I looked down and I looked up, and there was this corner, and I saw the guys go that way through the bend. And I clipped water, and I just went straight on. And there was a rock embankment, and I just crashed straight into it with the right side of my body, straight into it. And I had many fractures, 12 ribs. I was broken. My shoulder blade was completely disintegrated, literally. They wanted to reconstruct my shoulder blade. My collarbone disintegrated. Yeah, 2 compound fractures in my lower spine. Was a compound fracture in my femur. And then my lungs punctured both. My thorax collapsed. I had lots of internal bleeding, my abdomen, my spleen, my ruptured veins, my neck, my artery. It was severe. Got to a point where I literally just said, Lord, take me, I'm dying.
Another competitor couldn't avoid crashing into Grant, only injuring him further. But as fate would have it, that cyclist was also a doctor.
There were a couple of miracles that day, quite a few actually. And looking back, you just know it wasn't your day, that this happened to get me to where I'm supposed to be. And I think that's how people can look at trauma in their life. A friend of mine from South Africa, whom I met the day before in the Piazza in Trento, Christo and his wife Erna, they were there for the same race. And he was just behind me on the road, and he came around the corner, he recognized it's me lying there, he stopped. And he stayed there the whole time. Because I was so far up in the front of the race, the race official car was still behind me. In the car was the head of the ICU unit from the emergency hospital in Trento. He immediately jumped out. He immediately called for air support, for the emergency guys to come. And they worked to save my life. They defibrillated me twice. They had to do some surgery. They had to cut me open to get the air out of my chest and all kinds of other stuff. Now I know this because once they transferred me out of ICU, he came to see me in hospital. He sat with me and he said to me, we cannot explain how you survived. We just don't know how it happened. And he just said to me, there's a reason you're alive. You can do something with your life. And it's still vivid today.
Coming home in a wheelchair only strengthened Grant's resolve. To credit those who'd help him, he was going to give back.
When I came back, I had this clear plan and vision that I'm going to go back the following year to finish the race. So I went through 3 different surgeons before I got to a surgeon who agreed that he will get me back on my bike. And within the space of 3 months, he did 3 surgeries on me, on my shoulder. Then end of November, he had to do a 4th one because my shoulder wasn't getting better. And I said to him, Doc, I call him Dr. P. I said to him, Dr. P, I've got to be on my bike 1 Feb. I wanted to start riding my bike again. Now, when you break your femur, it normally takes a year to get better from that. I gave myself 7 months to start riding. It was a bit ludicrous, And everybody thought, you're an idiot. Are you mad? If you fall again, you are toast, my friend. You're never going to walk again or ride a bike, for sure. So what are you trying to prove? And I thought, you know what? I want to go back and I want to do this because it's for me and it's to inspire hope into other people.
and Jill Benting has watched him do it. Cycling 5 I'm Possible tours, raising 2 million rand for the Laureus Sports for Good Foundation.
It's in the name, right? Like I'm possible. Oftentimes we put the cap on our own limitations and what we can do. But when we look at the word impossible, and Grant mentions this all the time, it's literally that I'm possible. And he uses that to encourage and inspire everyone wherever he goes. And that is really what stands out for me about Grant.
Your spirit is very important if you want to achieve something big in life one day. It's not just about what you think, but it's also what you believe. But enjoy life, don't be so hard on yourself. And when you look in the mirror, make sure you're your own biggest fan. Talk yourself up, don't talk yourself down. Don't criticize yourself, build yourself up. Why? Because if you feel good about yourself, you can feel good about your friend, and you can help your friend. I think what they'll take from this is that nothing is impossible if you believe and if you really commit to something you want to do. You know, don't just give up the first hurdle you encounter. So I want that message to get across, to never give up, and that it's okay to be different. Each boy has got a different talent to the boy next to him. You don't have to be the same as everybody else. There's something unique with every one of you. There's nothing wrong with being different. You can still be the best you that you can be.
And if you ever want to find the cyclist who inspires such spirit, the best place to look is his open-air cathedral.
Yeah, what I love about cycling down here in the Western Cape, and especially on Chapman's Peak Drive, it really is, for me, one of the most beautiful roads in the world. You know, I've been fortunate to ride on the coastlines in France, Nice, out Saint-Tropez, California, close second, but I still haven't found a road to top this one. I'm definitely right here on Chapman's Peak Drive, planning a 24-hour, and that's going to be for a very special cause. I'll still work on that. Still got a lot in this old body of mine. Every day to me is a day to be grateful that I'm alive, but also that I can ride a bike. I don't need to motivate myself to get out and train and ride, because it's just such a privilege, and knowing it's making a difference at the same time keeps me getting back on the bike. And I think I'll ride a bike until one day when I die. They can put me in the ground, they can put my bike with me, good bottle of red, and that's about it.
Grant's feelings about his bike and his second chance at life are shared by Olympian skateboarder Boipelo Awuah about her 4 wheels and her fight back from injury.
I started skateboarding at a very young age, 5 years old. What got me into it was just the curiosity. Whenever nobody wasn't around, I would just go to my brother's room, get the skateboard, roll around in the house. Eventually, I got caught, obviously, but then they just let me do it because I kept on going back to the skateboard. Both my parents were absolutely terrified. Even till today, my mom still doesn't watch me skate that much. She just can't handle it. Our local skate park closed down, and it is the only skate park in Kimberley. And then, I quit skateboarding at the age of 10. After 4 years, I got back into skateboarding because I just felt like something was missing. You know, the feeling I got from skateboarding, I couldn't get that anywhere else. Got back into skateboarding around September 2019. And then the same year, I won the South African Nationals. Qualifying for the Olympics, I didn't register at first. It only registered once I got to the Olympic Village. But unfortunately, when I got there on the second day, I got injured. I just happened to fall, fractured my pelvic, and it was confirmed that I couldn't participate in the Olympic Games. And the doctor told me my heart was broken. I was so sad. I really wanted to just be part of it. And for the people back home, I know it would have inspired so many girls to see one of their own up there skating with some of the best athletes in the world. I feel like I'm the one paving the way for them, because it's not just for me, it's for all the female skateboarders in South Africa and Africa as a whole. So that's what pushes me to continue. Bailing in skateboarding has taught me so much. So many things. Persistence, hard work, consistency, and to never give up. You know, in skateboarding, when you fail, that's just one step closer to actually landing the trick. Or you could have something right, and then the next moment you bail as if you were never able to do it. So that's one of the things skateboarding has taught me. There's definitely been a few remarks here and there about me being a female skateboarder, such as, you're a female skateboarder, why are you doing this? You know, skateboarding is not for females. So those are some of the remarks I've gotten. Even till today, you know, I take my skateboard with me everywhere, whether I'm going to the shop or to the mall, and securities would chase me and all that stuff. This time around, I'm definitely going back to the Olympics. I have my eyes set on the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. Even if I don't win a medal out there, I know I'm going to do my absolute best for my country. Me being up there, I know it will definitely mean a lot for South Africa and the skateboarding scene. My name is Boipelo Awuah. I'm a professional skateboarder. Do what you can't.